Good morning, multiverse. Hey there, friends and foes. This is Back of the Cereal Box, the pop culture podcast that celebrates the fun of the Saturdays of our youth. And this morning, we are starting a brand new series. It is our Saturday matinee movie series. We're going to be talking about movies that you watch on a Saturday afternoon when it was raining outside. You curled up in a blanket on the living room floor. And our first movie, our first one up, is the classic, beloved children's movie, or is it Coraline? And we're going to do that right after this from the Murdering Crows.
It's like Coca-Cola, Levi Strauss, Johnny Carson and Mickey Mouse. The first star was James Dean. Elvis Presley, yeah, he's still the king. Some things are only imitatable. You can't beat an original. Oh, you can't beat an original.
All right, that awesome theme song was performed by D'Elle Memphic and the Murdering Crows. Their album is available on Amazon, iTunes, Google, anywhere you buy music. And of course, we want to thank our Cereal Box super friends, Cade Hawkins, Eli Cash, Cindy Kep, Sharice Collins, and Dave Mattingly. And you too can support the show and have your name in lights at buymeacoffee.com/cerealboxpod. Well, welcome to Back of the Cereal Box, the pop culture podcast that celebrates the fun of the Saturdays of our youth. I am your host, the prophet of pop culture, John Pica. You can call me Johnny. And Avengers comic books, Star Wars movies, and Saturday morning cartoons made me who I am today. And we're called Back of the Cereal Box because when I was a kid, we didn't have iPhones or tablets at the breakfast table on Saturday morning. We were reading the back of the cereal box in between cartoons, comic books, kaiju, and big bowls of cereal. And this morning, in my bowl, we're going to mix this up a little bit, ladies. In my bowl, I've got a bag, not a box, but I've got the multi-meal maple bacon donut cereal. Jiggy would love this. Cade, where are you? Wait. Anyway, so I'm going to be enjoying some maple bacon donut cereal this morning. Let's welcome in my co-hosts. And up first, coming to us from a secret portal in a little tiny room, a little tiny door in her house in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. She is your emotional support Canadian, the peppermint princess, the social media socialite, a fan of all things X-Men, Ninja Turtles, and Power Rangers. She is the one, the only, the myth, the legend, Willow Schuyler.
Good morning.
Good morning, Willow. How are you?
I'm awake.
And you're in your Pugsley outfit,
Yes.
going through the Coraline portal.
Spirit Halloween definitely takes my money.
Well, but they pay you money to take your money.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I love it that you found that backdrop, going through the portal, going through the tunnel. I can't wait. Let's save it. I can't wait to get your thoughts on this movie. But more importantly, what's in your bowl this morning?
I have Count Chocula. I'm gonna turn off the.
Yeah, that virtual backdrop gets you a little bit glitchy, but yeah.
So we finally have it in Canada. Apparently, it's been up here for a while, but according to some of my friends, we've had it in other stores, but we finally have it in my neighborhood.
That's fantastic. And you did a live taste test last week.
Yes, and it is delicious.
Yeah, Count Chocula is pretty good. Of the monster cereals, it's maybe my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of monsters, nah, I'm kidding. Please welcome our third co-host, the third member of our throuple. She is your wife's favorite redhead. She is an artist, a face painter, model, photographer, actress. She is a fantabulous cosplayer and all around just super sweet person. Please welcome the one, the only Aubrey Cavett.
Good morning, cereal boxers and Willow and Johnny. How is everybody?
Doing great. And I think I see behind you something healthy for your bowl.
Okay, yes. So, I actually did a last minute dash to the grocery store because I had neither cereal nor milk. So this morning I know we're not supposed to probably advertise, but I have my
No,
soy milk.
That's what I use.
Okay, mine was soy.
I use almond
I like it because it gives me a little protein in the morning.
I'm not allowed to have soy on my diet.
Oh, okay. Well, good to know. This is my first time trying Kashi chocolate waffles. A couple bites. Here's the trick though, because it's the closest one I thought looked like the button eyes from Coraline. So, it's not exact, but come on, that's pretty close there.
I love that.
So,
I love that.
So this is my first time eating it though. I've had Kashi, the classic, but I've never had this before.
Yeah, you're so clever. I like Kashi a lot. It's been a long time since I've had it.
Nothing really on the box of the back.
Well, there's
except a little scan code. So if anybody's watching, let's see if we can do this. Sometimes we can successfully.
Hold on. Let's put you up front. There we
I
go.
got my cell phone in the living room.
Somebody get us. If you got it, you got it. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna try it.
Awesome. So what's in Aubrey's bowl? It's Kashi. Now I like their granola style cereal a lot. So that's right. You are a milk in the bowl first person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
It does look like the button
and it's super thick. I mean, it's like huge and super crunchy. Aubrey is she's trying to decide whether she likes it or not.
Okay,
she's
crunching it's super thick,
Yeah.
It's not a lie. Okay, so this might be the first cereal that I might actually let soak a little bit of milk in. I'm not one of those people.
Yeah, when it's that dense, you got to let it. Yeah?
Be careful, y'all.
I mean, you could break your teeth on that.
It's got nothing on razor blades. I mean, ooh. But
oh my goodness, that's hysterical. So, for reference, Willow loves Count Chocula. I am eating the maple donut or bacon maple donut cereal from Multi-Meal. When I first had this earlier in this year, I did not like it. But the bag has been sitting in the pantry, sealed for the last couple of months. So I took it out the other night, and it smells amazing because it smells like maple and bacon and donuts. It tastes really good, but it does not taste as advertised. It tastes a little bit artificial, but it tastes good. So on a scale of 1 to 5 bowls of cereal, I'm going to give Multi-Meal's maple bacon donut a solid 4. Aubrey, what are you going to give Kashi?
Because it genuinely tastes like dark chocolate without too much added sugar. So therefore, chocolate in the morning without as much guilt, I'll give it a 6.
A 6 out of 5?
Oh, sorry. Out of 5, are we doing 5? Okay, a 4. I thought we were doing a 10 here. Like, when did we start
No,
giving them only 5s?
it's
Okay,
only
my
5.
rating system is totally off for cereal,
No,
man.
that's all right. You're still new. All right, Willow, Count Chocula, 1 to 5 bowls of cereal. What do you give it? You give it a 5. All right, that's respectable. That's awesome. Guess what, guys? We already have a ton of comments, so we are going to we're going to do some audience comments, and of course, our loyalist Dave Mattingly has joined us. Good morning, Box Tops. Good morning, Dave.
Morning.
Dave says, hot redhead chick has entered the discussion. Dave, unfortunately, Aubrey is not single. She is spoken for. Although Dave Mattingly is single, ladies.
Oh, okay, ladies, other cereal boxers.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Dave Mattingly has the best comment ever. He says, one I heard this week, Pugsley is goth Bobby Hill. I think we just broke Aubrey. Bobby, do you know how to restart a man's heart with a down power line? It's my favorite episode. You guys know that episode? It's when the tornadoes. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. That one line. Do you know how to restart a man's heart with a down power line? He's like, no. Well, there's really no wrong way. Anyway, it was so funny. Anyway, Drew Milden is joining us. Good morning, cereal heads. I'm so happy that Drew is joining us. He is a huge fan of our main topic this morning. He is a diehard fan of Coraline, and I asked him to be on the show this morning, but he's got kid duty, so he's going to be in the chat and supporting us with his comments. And Dave Mattingly says, welcome, Drew. Kick the world's butt. Drew is the host of the Drew versus the World podcast. So check that out.
Okay.
And look who showed up. He's been missing for a couple of weeks. Eli T. Cash. Speaking of monsters, but not really. Guess I'm chopped liver. No, everyone knows, Eli, that you are the devil incarnate.
D'Elle was asking about you and wondering where you were. So
and I shared that with him. I said, the girls want to know where you are, Eli.
Mm-hmm.
You got your fandom. Yep. And Andrew Milden says, Dave, I just need your help to engineer a butt-kicking machine. No, Andrew, you're an MMA fighter. What are you talking about? And Andrew said, that's what she said, Johnny. About what?
The thick cereal.
Ooh. It's got
Maybe.
girth. Wait. And Eli T. Cash is eating Captain Crunch. Oops, all berries.
That's a good one.
Dave Mattingly said it's super thick and huge. And Dave Mattingly says there's a bacon maple donut cereal. Yum. There is, Dave. And it is really good. It's not as good as the waffle crisp from Multimeal or the waffle crunch. That's fantastic. And Dave Mattingly says, don't ask Aubrey to do math before noon.
Thank you, Dave. You get me. Thank you so much. On 5 hours of sleep, I usually do a lot of stuff the night before this podcast, y'all. Most of the time I'm running on steam and coffee, and there was no coffee this morning. So thank you, Kashi. And you know what? I'm going to bump you up because I realized that there's real chocolate, so that means there's a little bit of natural caffeine in here too. So thank you.
See, I think I want that. So I did not sleep at all last night. I've got another show today. It's the last show for Beyond Smoke and Mirrors, and it's our haunted edition. And I've been up all night going through the show and what I need to do this morning after this show to get ready for that show. And then it's a whole thing. Anyway, Alpha Nerd says, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Alpha.
morning.
Dave Mattingly says Willow gives Chocula 5 out of 5. Would die and come back to life again. Blah blah blah. Eli T. Cash says Uncle Fester must be a Gene Goth spliced Bill and Dale.
Oh,
You know what? I think we need to see
that's
some.
a little disturbing, but that's funny. Gene splicing, no, but that's.
I think we need to see like King of the Hill Adams Family mashup. Chris Goins, if you're watching, get on that. Eli T. Cash says, phrasing Dave, kids show. And Facebook user says, just joined. What cereal is everybody eating? I want some. I'm eating maple bacon donut from Multi Meal. Aubrey's got Kashi, and Willow's got Count Chocula. Dun, dun, dun.
I'm just fascinated by the back of the box because Canada has somehow replaced it with just like the same. It's like reversible, just that in French, and yeah.
Oh, kind of different.
Yeah. So normally in Canada, you don't get an actual back.
No,
you get double fronts, but in two different languages. One side is English, one side is Canadian. But on this one, they've actually got the mask that you cut out.
Oh, so you guys got the thing. Yay.
Yeah, here, Willow. I'm going to bring you up full screen. Show that one more time, the mask.
Screenshot it so you guys can make your own masks.
Okay,
or I'm sure you can find it online.
No, let's not pirate it. Let's go buy your own. Andrew Milden says, King of the Hill episode coming soon? I don't know. Maybe. No, probably not. Facebook user says, it's Jemmy, producer Jemmy. She is the producer of the best podcast about podcasting.
Okay.
Podcasting your brand. If you're a podcaster out there or any broadcaster and you are not listening to this show every week to learn, you are missing out. But she is Facebook user. So welcome, producer Jemmy. Love that you are here. And so that brings us to our next segment, our favorite segment, because when I was a kid, and Aubrey and Willow, you guys remember these days, we would reach into the box or the bag, root around for the surprise, the toy, the whatever it was, and pull it out. So this is our prizes from the cereal box, or what I call new loot. And this is brought to you by the Tales of the Decoverse series by a very familiar author. And this book series is available at Amazon and Barnes & Noble and anywhere you buy books. And Aubrey, I can see you all ready to go. So I'm going to put you up first. What do you got? What's your prize from the cereal box this morning?
Okay. So in honor of us doing Coraline, which is a very feminine, empowering story of seeing reality and accepting truths and seeing things as not always grass on the other, greener on the other side, but rather something to explore in the world that you have. More female empowerment. Totally guys. So this is technically considered a graphic novel. So you know, comic book still genre. But there are some ladies out there who actually loved this. And I mean, come on, okay? The sexiness and the sweetness and these girls going on adventures is one thing, but there's some intriguing stories here and there. And this one is number three of the full color graphic novel. So I have started officially collecting with Evil Jerry episode.
So
here, number 3.
For those of you who are just listening, Aubrey is holding up the third edition of the Totally Spies graphic novel. And if you were a fan of the cartoon series Totally Spies, you're going to be a fan of the graphic novel.
It is
Yeah.
a very cute show. I like it.
I remember my daughter was obsessed with this show when she was very little. And so I would watch it with her. Yeah. And now
Yeah, and these are like $10, like originally. So $8 and $10.
That's a great buy, actually, for a graphic novel or a trade paperback. $10 is really
and
good.
It's in perfect condition, like this one. Absolute perfect condition.
Especially when you, and if you consider that, single comics now are $4 and $5 to get a collected edition that's going to be 4 or 5 issues for $10. That's a bargain. That's a no-brainer. Willow, do you have any new loot this morning?
I do.
What is in your cereal box? What is the prize?
I forgot to bring my Mad magazine. I bought a Mad magazine a couple days ago. I'll get that later. But yeah, I bought earrings from Spirit Halloween. $9.99. And they're ghosts. I don't know if you guys can't really see the faces, but
that's what I was just going to ask. Are there little holograms inside?
They're really cute. Like I went in just before starting work at PetSmart yesterday, and these just happened to match my outfit that I was wearing yesterday.
Well, there you go.
Doing Spirit Week at PetSmart, and yesterday was show off your flowers.
They called right out to you. So for those of you who are just listening, Willow was holding up these 2 earrings, a pair of earrings, 3 baubles, 3 dangles on each one, and they're translucent, but are those hologram images inside, or are they like?
No, they're just shiny purple beads,
but their faces on them.
But they're shaped as ghosts.
Okay,
with little
gotcha.
Smiley faces on it.
Gotcha. I love it. That's fantastic. So you guys, I found this by accident this week. I'm so excited. So I don't have a box, but I'm gonna reach in and I'm going to pull out the Loki Book of Magic and Mischief. I had no idea this was coming out. I was at Books A Million, and I just happened to see it, and I was like, wait a minute, what is that? Because I saw he had 3 cards in front of him. He's playing 3-card Monty. I was like, what is this? And this is Tricks and Deceptions from the Prince of Illusions. And it is step-by-step instructions for 35 magic tricks. But they are as if Loki were performing them and telling the stories. They all have a story that goes along with them, like the All-Father to Half-Father. And it is a cut and restored card trick. Some pretty cool stuff. The Magic Wand, or as I taught it to our Patreon subscribers yesterday, the Magnetic Fork or Magnetic Pencil. It's pretty amazing. It's really cool. It's $19.95. I love it a lot. And by the way, a lot of these same tricks are in my book, Magic You Can Do, which is available on Amazon. But I just thought this was so cool and such a great idea from Marvel. Every once and again, we still get some really great original content from the major publishers. And this is one of them. If you want to learn how to do magic like Johnny, go pick this up at your local comic book shop, your bookstore, where you can get it online. I thought it was super, super cool. And, Aubrey,
I found it.
There's Mad Magazine. Now, is that a new Mad Magazine or is it vintage?
It is, but it has like a whole bunch of classic comics in it. But when was the last time you guys bought a Mad Magazine? Like, I swear it's been at least 20 years for me.
Well, and that's why they ceased publication monthly. About 5, maybe it's been 10 years ago, they ceased publication, but they are still putting out like these quarterly special issues like that, and it's it's super thick. It's like double thick, right? Like with a bound spine, not a stapled spine, and it has all of those classic articles, cartoons, and bits, and people love it. People, from our generation are buying those reproductions, those collections up like crazy. They've tapped into something. Time Magazine is doing the same thing. Time Magazine does not publish monthly anymore. They only publish special editions, and you'll see them at Walgreens or Walmart.
Yeah.
And Aubrey, you got this look on your face like you got something else going on. What do you got?
I wanted to say one more time, in case I didn't mention, this little guy that I've been carrying around is an addition to my cosplay for Daphne. He is handmade and hand crocheted by my friend. And I purchased this little guy, and you can find her at Rissa Custom Crocheted Designs on Etsy. And I wanted to shout her out because she also did our Rosie.
Hey, can you put that in the chat and we'll post it up on the screen before we leave?
Awesome. Yes, and he is very squishy, but he is also washable, and you can ask for her to change designs. She is really good at doing stuff on the fly, but I just wanted to shout her out real quick.
I love that. I want one. Well, my dog would probably eat it, but I still want one.
She can make you anything, Johnny.
All right. Well, we'll see about that. All right. So it is time to get to our main topic of the week. And our main topic is brought to you by Nightly Spirits. It's time to get spooky in October. Nightly Spirits Ghost Tours. You can come along with me on a ghost tour even tonight. Nope, you can't tonight. It's sold out tonight. But we have other dates available in October and November, and we go all year long. Use my promo code JohnP667 to book a spooky tour of historic downtown Nashville with Nightly Spirits. Well, ladies, we have a brand new series that we're starting this morning. We did Saturday Morning 101, a deep dive into what I considered and what our fans considered the essential Saturday morning cartoons. Then we did Kaiju Saturday Matinee. And then I thought it would be a lot of fun to do a series on Saturday matinee movies, animated movies that we watched as a kid, either at the theater or maybe on VHS, curled up on the floor with blankets and pillows and big tubs of popcorn on Saturday afternoon or late, early Saturday evening with the family. And when I was thinking about that specific memory, this movie was the first to pop up into my memory because I saw Coraline. We're going to be talking about Coraline. I saw it for the first time with my kids in the living room, sitting on a blanket with pillows and snacks all over the place on a Saturday afternoon when it was raining outside. And let me just say this. There was a lot about this movie I did not remember. For those of you who are not familiar with Coraline, this was the first full-length feature animated movie by the studio Leica. A lot of people think that this was made by Tim Burton, and it was not, although the music was done by Danny Elfman. This is based on the Neil Gaiman graphic novel of the same name, or book, I guess, Neil Gaiman book of the same name. And it follows the adventures of this girl, Coraline, who has moved with her parents. Here's her mom, and here's her dad, and they are working on writing a catalog, a flower botanical catalog. And basically, this is sad to say, but Coraline is pretty much ignored and treated like a nuisance by her parents. She's even told by her mom one time, just, I'll let you do whatever you want if you will just be quiet and leave me alone. And so Coraline goes out on these adventures in her new home and on the property. And she discovers a tiny door in the house, in the apartment where they're staying. It's a boarding house. And she convinces her mom to find the key to unlock it. And it turns out it's a portal, a magical portal that takes her to a mirror world where she meets her other mother. And the other mother is completely opposite of her real mother. She's happy, pleasant. She wants to shower Coraline with affection. And, they create this magical, enticing world. But, Willow said it. The grass, or I guess Aubrey said it, the grass is greener on the other side. And that's usually because it's growing over a septic tank.
Yep.
And turns out other mother is this demonic needle creature who wants to cut Coraline's eyes out, replace them with buttons, and then eat her. And to entice her, to spy on her, she sends this doll that looks like Coraline into the world. And Coraline just thinks, oh, what a coincidence. This doll looks exactly like me. And carries it around, and that lets other mother learn, about her life, what is missing, what she desires, what she wants, and to entice her into that world and to stay there. Now, there along the way, Coraline meets some fantastic characters. The acrobat Bodowski, am I pronouncing that right? And the two older women, the former vaudeville burlesque performers. And I couldn't find images of them that I could load. So Willow, if you can find those while we're talking about this.
Sure.
Now, and by the way, you guys, I've seen this movie twice before this week, and I did not remember the burlesque scene. Oh my God. Now, before we get you guys' feedback on this, for those of you who don't know, this was a stop motion animated movie. So all of these images that you're seeing are actually, they're actually figures. They're puppets that are, posed frame by frame, moment by moment. And Leica Studios is the same studio that produced Paranorman. They produced Kubo and the Two Strings. They produced what was the other one? Box Trolls. Some amazing work from this studio. The animation is so flawless with the stop motion animation that it looks like CGI, but it is not. That is all posed mannequins and puppets frame by frame. The artistry is unreal good. And I've got sun shining through my blinds. So
okay, real quick comment on the cereal, because I'm one of those people, and it is back in the cereal box. Guys, I just took a bite on camera of my cereal. I never do that later on, but I was thirsty and having any water with me. So I'm like, the soy milk, right? The cereal is still kind of crunchy.
Oh wow.
Well, when it's that
still
thick
edible. I won't dump this out. I'll still eat it.
Yeah.
When
it's that thick and girthy, then it lasts longer.
Yep. Cereal
Yep.
It's good cereal.
I mean, hey,
Everyone should have some good cereal in their life.
there's a burlesque scene in this beloved children's movie.
Oh my god, it's so spicy, right?
So
Come on. I mean, there's just pasties on that very voluptuous
and a
dancer.
G-string. And a
I
G-string.
know, this is supposed to be a kids movie.
I was in shock.
It's
Now,
not a kids movie. I will say this right now. It should not be a
Very dark.
kids
It's
movie.
very dark.
but it is considered a beloved children's movie. And I agree with you, Willow. Look, the whole thing, the whole movie, it really deals with appreciating and understanding and having contentment for where you are and appreciating the things that you have and understanding that everything that glitters is not gold. And sometimes what looks attractive is very dangerous. That's the moral of this story. But
There,
I gotta tell. Okay, that's them after they take off the.
That's the instant
The-
lipo.
but that's the family friendly version of this.
Yes, that's the family friendly version.
The one that we're allowed to show on air.
Well, and in one moment during that act, I mean, they constantly reference
Yep.
how large-chested she is, and at
It's
one
really
point
impressive.
she grabs her breasts and jiggles them around. I'm just like, what is happening here? But
If you
but,
take
you
a
know-
kid to a drag show, it's the same thing as watching Coraline.
well, to the burlesque show, yeah. But I found this movie, even after seeing it twice before, to just be very weird. Very weird. I'm not a weird for weird sake kind of guy. Like I'm not a fan of the Addams Family. In any iteration.
Wait. Well, we shouldn't go any further. This is spooky season. Come on, you can't say that on camera on spooky season and then why? Why?
Because
Bonnie?
they're just weird, and I don't like weird.
That's why.
See,
I don't.
I love the Addams Family. I don't mind if they're weird, but
See-
I love the classic version of it. They tried doing a version of it in the 90s with some of the same scripts, and I didn't like that version.
Well, I love the Munsters. The Munsters are my jam. I love the Munsters because there's a reasonable explanation for why they're weird. They're monsters trying to live in the real world. But the Addams Family is just weird for weirdness sake.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you,
Please.
Dave. What is going on? I agree with Dave. Something is happening.
Dave
So,
says
anyway.
he's not a fan of the Addams Family. I don't even know you anymore.
So, Willow, had you seen Coraline before this?
No,
And
no, I don't know how I missed it, but no, I hadn't, and I got really creeped out just for like other reasons. It felt like walking into a pedophile ring
Well, okay, so
while watching it.
I mean,
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I'm so
it is.
very predatory to me.
Well, that's fair, and it's supposed to feel that way. The other mother is a predator
Mhm.
because we find out that Coraline is not her first target.
Nope.
She has
Oh.
she has killed 3
Yeah.
other children and taken their eyes and like trapped their spirits, their souls in those eyes. And so Coraline is just the next in line to be preyed upon by this demonic entity. And so yeah, you nailed it. It is predatory, Willow. And
Which is hilarious because considering the theme of what Freddy Krueger and why he comes back to life, you'd think that I would get that feeling watching those movies.
Yeah, I think the psychological aspect of this is one of the reasons why people think Tim Burton immediately. I don't know how many people have said, "Oh, that's Tim Burton. I'm having a Halloween party." One of my themes for the first night is, in case he's per chance hears this, I love Tim Burton. Hi, Tim. I've always wanted to meet you. I think I would stop being able to talk forever, at least for a little while, if I could meet you. But hi. Anyway, so I'm a huge fan. No. Sweeney Todd, yes. Coraline, no. Okay. So, you guys
N-
look this up. He has the same kind of, dark subtext that's psychological that puts it in the story with this stop animation. So reminiscent. It feels like the air of Tim
Yeah.
Burton, but it's
Well,
not.
well, because Tim Burton revolutionized stop motion animation with Nightmare Before Christmas. And he also did The Corpse Bride and Frankenweenie.
Mm.
And so, and those were coming out at the same time that the Leica movies were coming out. And so a lot of people they see the similarities and they confuse them. But I will tell you, I don't think the Tim Burton movies have as smooth an animation as the Leica films do. Um, both masterfully done, but in terms of the actual just smoothness of the animation, the Leica Studio stuff is like top tier. Um, but yeah, a lot of people confuse them, and especially on this one because uh, what's his name did the Danny Elfman did the score, and you connect Danny Elfman with Tim Burton almost immediately.
Oh, yes. Oh, they've worked together so much. It's almost like their fluidity makes them the best partners when they make a movie. They just shine really well together.
Yeah, yeah. So, but what did you think of the theme of this movie, the story of this movie, Aubrey?
Okay, I love slightly dark things. Always have, always will. But this, I agree with Willow in the aspect that it took this to a. It reminded me of like those old shows from when we were younger, where it was like, kids, don't go there, don't do this. Like a warning to the wise, if you're wise enough to listen. It wasn't just about like the grass is greener, as we saw by a myriad of these stories. It was also about who to trust, when to trust, how to trust, and trusting yourself also was a big part of the story. And the subtext, if you don't get it, you will miss a bunch of it the first time. But I've seen Coraline, I would say, a bunch of times over the past years since it came out. And because I too, at first, thought it was Tim Burton, and I do like the dark aesthetic, as seen by this creepy tree in the background. I love that aspect of making people think when it comes to fiction. We've done that forever in human history. But in this story particularly, I feel like if you're not prepared for it, it could raise some alarms. It could trigger some people, especially nowadays. People are becoming more aware of things like that. So just pre-warning, if like Willow, this is going to be your first time seeing Coraline, there are some spicy, saucy moments, maybe not suitable for your particular children. There are some moments that make people who have abandonment issues or family drama or trauma issues feel a certain way. But if you love being made to think about things maybe you don't necessarily want to in a very dark, artsy way, it is an intriguing path down a rabbit hole that I would never do without, even in book form. And by the way, there is something later on I would like to mention that I think is both intriguing and people should look for when they go back.
All right. So I see, when I was watching this and really analyzing it, I really understand why this is considered a children's classic because the character of Coraline is so relatable to so many kids, especially of the Gen X, people who grew up as Gen X. We were latchkey kids. We were, set out on our own and told to be seen but not heard. And, they even had to put a commercial on television, Willow, in the United States. It said at 10 o'clock, it came on. They said, "It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are?" because just like Coraline, we were set loose, free range children, and you know, our parents thought we were just wandering the yard for 8 hours, and in that 8 hours or 12 hours, we hiked 5 miles, crossed 2 railroad tracks, built a fort in the tree. It was an
And
adventure.
because of that, my generation became the helicopter parents.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's true. And we that's what this Coraline show is all about. It's all about her being set free. She's kicked out of the house basically, like we were when we were kids, and told to go play, go find something else to do. And she finds this adventure that is definitely not a safe adventure. It was very dangerous, real world stakes. And but I do, so I think that's why so many kids can relate to this. As adults, we understand where that's coming from, but even kids today, they understand those feelings of not fitting in, not belonging, not wanting to be there. So that's why it's become, quote unquote, a children's classic. But I really think, parents, you have to watch this with your kids, because you need to, one, explain the
Explains
nuances.
so much.
Well, yeah, because kids will just see it on the surface as a story about a young girl's fun adventure, but there's so much you miss without parental guidance. And
Honestly,
without that,
parents should watch it first. I feel like I was okay. I'm no matter what people think about me, I'm a completely changed person that I was. I was very strict on my kids. I wanted to make sure they had a very structured upbringing because, like you said, Johnny, we were a lot of us latch kids. Came from a broken home, and we never knew from one to the other if our parent was, working, or if they were going to be home, or and if you couldn't get in, you couldn't get in. You were sitting out, or you were going to disappear and leave your backpack there, and maybe you were going to come back in time to not get in trouble. But yeah, watch it first. I would even suggest there are books out there. So like I always suggest to a parent, watch the thing before your kids watch it, so you are prepared mentally. Maybe it is going to bring up some things you don't want to talk about. So it's artistic enough that it would be entertaining for their parents to watch previously.
yeah, I mean, the artistry is just, it's astounding. It's so beautiful. And look, the older characters, the acrobat, Budinsky, and the two ladies, the former vaudeville and burlesque performers, they're so relatable to adults who feel like maybe their glory days are long behind them, or they're trying to recapture some of that magic, like the acrobat with the jumping mouse circus. By the way, can we just talk about how adorable those jumping mice were? But again, everything that's cute and attractive is not always what it appears to be.
Yeah, like that kitty cat, I love that there is a messenger from the other side in that cat. Like that speaks volumes all by itself. But I will say, before we end this, at the very end, I'm gonna throw in something that I found out that I never noticed in all the times I've watched Coraline. But
All right.
yeah, okay.
Well, let's do some audience comments. Andrew Milden is chiming in. He's a big fan of Coraline, and he watched the behind the scenes of this, and it's so good. Yeah, so I love watching the behind the scenes of all of the Leica animated movies, because they show you how they made the puppets. And like in Box Trolls, one character had 36 different puppets for
Nice.
different facial expressions and whatnot. It was amazing. And Andrew said, the eyes always freaked me out. Yes. And Andrew Milden says, definitely PG level madness. And Dave Mattingly says, referencing Danny Elfman and Tim Burton, what are these strange new feelings?
Oh, yeah. You want to talk about the connection there, too.
Well, that's from Nightmare Before Christmas,
Mhm.
Jack Skellington when he discovers Christmas Town. But yeah, I mean, there's some parallels here. Um, Andrew Milden says, "I love weird." Yeah, and look, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm not a super fan of all of Tim Burton's stuff. I love Edward Scissorhands. I love
Mhm.
Sweeney Todd. I even like Nightmare Before Christmas, and of course, Batman 1989 is a classic. But then there are some other things that he's done, like Corpse Bride. I'm just like,
Oh, what?
no, yeah.
Mm.
But Dave Mattingly says, not a fan of the Addams Family. I don't even know you anymore. Oh, this is okay. Dave Mattingly says, speaking of Tim Burton, Danny Elfman, and Saturday mornings, we need a Pee Wee's Playhouse episode.
Oh, he just passed. That's kind of rough.
Well, he's right, though, because when I was first pitching the show, I described it as one part Regis and Kathy Lee, one part Pee Wee's Playhouse.
Wait a second. Do I get to wear her dresses? Oh my gosh. That would be so great. Let's do something.
Now, when we are going to do a Saturday Morning 102 series, and that'll probably be after the first of the year, and we are going to talk about Totally Spies and Pee Wee's Playhouse and Brave Star and some other things that are not as quote unquote essential, but are very impactful. So, and Andrew Milden says there's also a heaven and hell aspect to this movie as well. You know what? I didn't pick up on that, but now that you mention it, I can see that. And Andrew Milden said the director also did James and the Giant Peach, another true classic. And James and the Giant Peach was phenomenal. But again,
also a lot of darkness.
Yeah, and when you put that story, the classic Roald Dahl story, into like realistic animation, it got dark and creepy real quick. The giant bugs in the anyway.
No.
So Andrew Milden says other mother equals Bedlam. Bedlam is the name of a demon. So Andrew, do you think that was or not Bedlam, but Beldam? Do you think it was specifically Beldam, or just expand on that? And Andrew Milden said there were 26 Coraline dolls, and it took a team 3 to 6 months to create each one. So for Coraline, for her animation, there were 26 that they would alter and move, and for different facial expressions and whatnot. So that's pretty amazing. Is Aubrey frozen? No, she's just catatonic for a moment. So just amazing artistry. And Willow, I know that you were kind of creeped out by the movie, but I'm hoping you can at least appreciate the artistic endeavor that went into it.
No doubt there is quite I am enjoying like the artistic aspect of it. It's just I never read the book, so I don't know too much of like these characters going into this. So
I knew that it was a Neil Gaiman book, but I had forgotten that until we were doing our homework for this and someone mentioned it, and I was like, oh yeah, huh. And a lot of people have said the book is better, but I've not read it.
I grew up with the likes of R.L. Stine and his Fear Street stuff. And, I should probably sit down and watch some or read some of Neil Gaiman stuff.
It's weird. He gets weird. Now, Neil Gaiman did Omens, the Amazon Prime series, which is actually pretty good. Good Omens.
can't get
Wait.
into it.
Wait, what? Good
Oh,
Omens?
do you not know about this show?
I
Aubrey?
do.
I
Go
love
ahead.
Good Omens. I am obsessed with Good Omens.
Oh, okay.
I
But
I put reels on Instagram. I love Good Omens, and I love the actors that are in it. So
but
I love
Willow,
the
you
actors. I just can't get into the show.
it's
really?
okay. It's not for everybody. I love the saucy
Every
aspect
time
of
I
it.
tried to watch it, I fell asleep.
Oh, oh.
Well,
I
that's fair. Every time I tried to watch the Star Wars show Andor, I fell asleep.
oh, that's
And
fair.
I'm a Star Wars fanatic, but that show just did not do it for me. Now, I will tell you that most of Neil Gaiman's stuff I am not a fan of. I was not a fan. I could not watch Sandman. It put me to sleep in 20 seconds. Literally. The first 30 seconds, I was gone. I was out. And his comic stuff, I've never been a fan, but Good Omens, I really, really enjoyed. And I think it is the chemistry of the two lead
Mhm.
actors.
Oh,
But
most definitely.
so we're coming up on an hour here. Any other comments about Coraline from either you, Aubrey, or Willow?
Okay, so the thing that I was holding on to, um, in the books, they mention it heavily, but in the movie, you really, really have to pay attention. The mist is alive.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the fan that we have, who is the fan again that we have in the we have
Andrew Milden.
Andrew Milden. I don't know if you've heard this before, but supposedly the mist is a monster all by itself, and it is manipulated and can be controlled somewhat by Other Mother. So it's just an aspect that if you pay attention throughout the movie, it builds as things get more intense. It kind of like follows people. It kind of guides things. She actually is able to control it in the on the other side also.
Hmm.
Um, there's also the dad's slippers. I think it's the other father. They're from Monkey Bone. If you're
Oh,
familiar with Monkey Bone.
Yeah.
Um, and there's some other Easter eggs here and there. The the building, the pink, what is it that they live in? What's it called? The building,
The Pink Palace.
Pink Palace. It's like the address for it is the same building that they made the stop motion motion animation in. So that's cool. You know,
All
there's little
right.
stuff like that throughout the story. Um, yeah, and just like the aspect of the underlying stress of these two working adults trying to raise a kid, and the kid really just wants to run away. Even though these parents are just, you can see they're barely holding on. Like they are at the end of their rope. They both look like zombies. I mean, we've all been there staring at the screen like, we're just like, we lose it. It's just gone. There's nothing except the grind and the clacking of the keyboard. We are the first generation, honestly, that I feel understands that truly.
Yeah.
And we were raised with that. I was taught computer in school. I mean, granted, it was junior high, but still, the fact that that was the case, we're the first generation that grew up with this being like a communication. There's more of us and other generations on YouTube and other forms of this kind of media than really any other. They kind of started it with us. So we have this gap where we can bridge both and see both the parents' perspective in this and the kids. I feel like, the kid feels abandoned, neglected, alone. Like the only thing that is important is, they're out of the way. But in reality, it's just everybody's going through their own path that's super difficult to go through.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
on that note, I have to pop out for just 1 second.
That's okay. While you're doing that, Willow, do you have any other thoughts on Coraline?
No, I will take your guys' word on it. Like It is a very creepy movie. All in all together, I can see what they're trying to go for, but it's a weird movie.
Is it one that you will revisit at another time?
Probably not.
Interesting. So I think next week, I want to stay with this studio and
Okay.
with the theme of spooky season, Halloween, because Leica Studios also did Paranorman, which is
No, I've seen that one, and Frankenweenie I've also seen, and didn't get the same creepy vibe from either one of those.
and you won't. Paranorman is a great paranormal adventure, and it's actually one of my favorite animated movies. So we'll take a look at that next week. Now, Willow, yesterday you were at Winnipeg Comic Con. Are you there again today or tomorrow?
It's not until the 27th.
Oh, I thought you were already there.
28 to 29. It's okay. Speaking of which, I will be hosting 2 panels, one on the 27th with the Winnipeg Paranormal Group, and I'm looking forward to that. And on the Sunday, I will be hosting our Back of the Cereal Box.
Well,
stage, so I apologize. I'm taking the show on the road with me.
That's a great segue, because that same weekend, your 2 other co-hosts, Johnny and Aubrey, are going to be at HoloCon in Dalton, Georgia, and Saturday the 28th at our regular time, Aubrey and I will be coming to you live from HoloCon, from the HoloCon stage. So tune in and join us for that. But speaking of being live at a con, we have a very special message from former co-host Ivy Roman, who is at New York Comic Con this weekend. Check this out.
Hey, Back at the Cereal Box, it's Ivy Roman, and I am at New York Comic Con thinking about all my friends. Hi, Drew. Hi, Johnny. Hey, Back at the Cereal family. Just checking out all the amazing things and, you know, going broke. I miss you guys so much. See you soon.
Oh,
she probably will be coming back to the program very shortly. She's finishing up her degree, and yeah, so can't
she
wait.
Looks amazing.
She really does,
as always.
She really does. If you're not following Ivy Roman on social media, you really must. Her journey has been amazing, and I can't wait to get her back in the virtual rec room.
For a starving student, she sure looks like she's doing really well.
She's doing great. She's doing great. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is time for us to sign off. If you are in the Middle Tennessee area at all, you can check out my show, Beyond Smoke and Mirrors, Haunted. And I thought I had a poster loaded up here. I can take care of that right away. We are at the Palace Theater for the final show of the season. And of course, we are sponsored by Back of the Cereal Box. This is, Aubrey, this is unlike anything that I've done previously. So it is Beyond Smoke and Mirrors, but this is Haunted. And all of the material is completely different.
Awesome.
It's none of the bright colored, super high energy illusions. This is super scary, creepy, story based stuff that the goth girl inside you will go crazy for. And here's the best thing. It's ghost stories and haunted magic in a famously haunted theater. The Palace Theater is said to be haunted by Bill Roth, the former owner. And will he show up this afternoon? We'll find out. And you can still get tickets. There are tickets available. You can get them at the door or online at johnnybeyond.com. That's in my signature right there. And you can follow, find, and support me there. And Willow, you're going to be at Spirit Halloween today, but
No, I actually have the day off, but there is a solar eclipse happening today, and I get to see a little portion of it. So
Yay!
Hey, can we just talk about how you're wearing your Pugsley shirt and the light beams from my shade are basically giving me the same design?
You're matching twinsies.
Yeah, we're matching. That's funny. And follow and find support Willow at Willow Skylar everywhere online. And Aubrey, Dawning Eve in K.
Mhm.
What does that stand for? Why did you pick that name?
Oh, it's a long story, but it's my siblings who passed away. It's their names.
Gotcha.
They will live forever, and K stands for kindred spirits because we are all geeks, weirdos, strangers, and wild childs underneath. So we're all kindred spirits.
All right. So Dawning Even K on Instagram, and follow, find, and support her. And until the next time, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you like the show, share it. Tell 200-300 of your closest friends and family. You can contribute at buymeacoffee.com/cerealboxpod. Buy us a bowl, 2, 3, a whole box of cereal. And in the meantime, love you, mean it. We'll catch you on the back of the cereal box. Have a great rest of the day.